What happens when two of the biggest influencers in the world go from besties to sworn enemies? Well, you get one of the messiest public feuds of 2026, complete with drunk interviews, Super Bowl drama, workplace meltdowns, and TikTok callouts that had the entire internet choosing sides. I'm talking about Alex Cooper and Alix Earle, the feud that's been simmering for over a year and just exploded into full-blown war. And trust me, what happened behind the scenes is way juicier than what you've seen on TikTok. Because here's what most people don't know. There's allegations of a manipulative drunk interview that crossed major lines.
I just want to talk about Alex Cooper quickly. She allowed and aired footage of a man speaking so disrespectfully and disgustingly about a woman in a sexual manner, and she allowed this to air. I'm so disturbed that this woman would do this to another woman.
There's a secret incident at a Super Bowl party that nobody's talking about. There's a shocking workplace investigation that just dropped revealing Cooper's empire is imploding. And Earle, she's been filming something big and is about to spill everything. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what happened and why one of these women's career might not survive this. Let's dive in. Let's rewind to August 2023. Alix Cooper, queen of the Call Her Daddy podcast and the fourth most popular podcast in America, launches her media empire called Unwell Network. It's supposed to be this Gen Z paradise of unfiltered conversations where young creators can thrive. And who does Cooper choose as one of her first big signings? Alix Earle, the TikTok princess with 6.5 million followers who literally made Get Ready With Me videos a cultural phenomenon. The partnership seemed perfect. Cooper even said, "I feel honored to be at a place in my career where I can pass along knowledge and advice for a new generation of creators to flourish." By September 2023, Earle launches Hot Mess with Alix Earle under the Unwell umbrella. The podcast does well, the girls are posting together, they're at events together, everything looks like influencer friendship goals. But here's what nobody knew at the time. Behind the scenes, something was already brewing, something that would eventually destroy their partnership and turn them into enemies, and it all started with one night that went too far. February 2025, Super Bowl in New Orleans. This is where everything falls apart. Cooper throws this massive Unwell Network Super Bowl party. It's the event. Everyone who's anyone in her circle is there. Except Earle, which is wild because Earle was literally in New Orleans for the Super Bowl with her then boyfriend, NFL player Braxton Berrios. So why didn't Earle show up to her own boss's party when she was in the same city? Well, according to people close to Earle, something happened before that party. Something so bad that Earle refused to even be in the same room as Cooper. Here's where it gets dark. According to gossip account Dumois, and I need to emphasize this is unverified but it's been circulating heavily, Cooper allegedly had Earle on Call Her Daddy for a Truth or Drink segment shortly before the Super Bowl. The claim, Cooper got Earle very drunk and then pressured her to answer deeply personal questions about her relationship with Berrios that made Earle extremely uncomfortable. But here's the question that's haunting this whole feud. Was it just a fun drunk podcast segment, or did Cooper deliberately get Earle drunk to extract content that would go viral, knowing it would damage Earle's relationship? Earle clearly thinks a line was crossed, and that Super Bowl party snub, that was her answer. Later in February 2025, just weeks after the Super Bowl, Unwell Network drops Hot Mess with Alix Earle. The official statement says they're renouncing all rights so Earle can freely explore future opportunities. Corporate speak for "you're fired," but here's what's suspicious. Earle posts a confused TikTok saying, "There's been a lot of chatter online this week about me and work, and I also have no idea what's going on." Wait, she doesn't know what's going on with her own podcast that she hosts? That tells you everything you need to know about who had the power in that relationship. Cooper made the decision. Earle found out with the rest of us. In March, Earle announces the podcast is on indefinite hiatus without giving any real reason why, but in May 2025, she gives her first hint to the Wall Street Journal. She says, and I quote, "That was behind the scenes a little bit of a hot mess. Very on brand, but also very telling. According to sources who spoke to TMZ, the real issue was money. Earle felt like Unwell wasn't offering her what she was worth when her contract came up for renewal. But other sources claimed that despite Earle having a strong fan base, the podcast numbers just weren't there to justify what she was asking for. But was it really about money? Or was it about Earle wanting out of a toxic business relationship with someone she no longer trusted? Keep watching, because the evidence suggests it was way more personal than just a contract dispute." Throughout 2025, both women are dropping hints, but never directly calling each other out. It's psychological warfare, cryptic posts, shady comments, strategic silence. Then in October 2025, Cooper throws shade in the pettiest way possible. Earle is competing on Dancing with the Stars and performs to Britney Spears' Circus. Cooper immediately promotes an Unwell event in Las Vegas using the exact same song and captions it, "How much time do you have? 'Cause we could go all night," literally weaponizing Earle's own words against her. The message was clear: "I'm watching you, I see everything you do, and I can play this game longer than you can." But Earle wasn't backing down. She kept posting cryptic content. She kept teasing that she had a story to tell. The internet was going insane trying to piece together what actually happened. Then April 2026 happens, and the silent war becomes a very loud war. April 13th, 2026, Earle reposts a TikTok from a creator called the Bravo Mom, who absolutely destroys Cooper. The creator says Cooper is like the Grim Reaper and an ambulance chaser who profits off of women's heartaches and failures. She accuses Cooper of building an empire on other women's pain. Earle didn't just like the video, she reposted it. That's a declaration of war. Cooper sees this and finally snaps. On April 14th, she posts a TikTok directly calling out Earle. Alix Earle, "Hey girl, the passive-aggressive reposts and the likes and the commenting on things, I gotta call you out here. You're gonna need to get specific and just say what you gotta say about me. There's no NDA, no one is stopping you. Stop hiding behind other people and just say it yourself. What's the beef?" Earle's response, she comments, "Okay on it, Myra," with double exclamation points. The internet collectively loses its mind. Everyone's waiting for the tell-all, the exposed receipts, the full story. But instead of immediately responding, Earle posts a video of herself at a pole dancing class to "You Don't Own Me" with the caption, "Sorry, been busy filming this week." The most Earle response possible, cryptic, unbothered, and strategic. Filming this week, and that's the key. Earle isn't going to respond in a TikTok. She's making something bigger, a documentary, a YouTube expose, whatever it is. She's building the suspense, and Cooper knows it's coming. April 20th, 2026. While Cooper is publicly feuding with Earle, Bloomberg drops an absolute nuke of an investigation. And suddenly everything makes sense. The headline, "Alix Earle feud isn't Alex Cooper's only problem as Unwell Network struggles." Translation, Cooper's empire is falling apart. The report reveals that Unwell Network is facing massive internal chaos. At least 24 employees have left between 2025 and April 2026. That includes the head of brand marketing, the head of the network, and the chief growth officer. Out of approximately 100 employees, that's almost a quarter of the staff gone. But here's the kicker. The main source of the chaos isn't even Cooper, it's her husband. Matt Kaplan, Cooper's husband and co-CEO, has allegedly created what multiple employees describe as a toxic workplace. According to Bloomberg, Kaplan has earned a reputation for frequently yelling at staff members. The most damaging allegation during the filming of Unwell Winter Games in early April 2026, literally while Cooper is feuding with Earle publicly, Kaplan allegedly berated the staff on set and threatened to prevent them from ever working in Hollywood again if they messed up. One long-experienced crew member reportedly broke down in tears. Crew members filed formal complaints. They threatened to walk off the job unless Kaplan changes his behavior. This isn't just one disgruntled employee, this is a pattern. The company held an emergency all-hands meeting on April 22nd to address the crisis, but here's the most damning detail. Neither Cooper nor Kaplan attended their own company's crisis meeting. Let that sink in. Their employees are threatening to quit. Their executives are fleeing. The company is in crisis mode, and the two CEOs nowhere to be found. So maybe Earle isn't the problem. Maybe Earle was the canary in the coal mine. Maybe she saw what was happening inside Unwell and got out before it destroyed her too. So where does this leave us? Here's what we know for sure. Earle is filming something. She's promised she's going to talk. And when she does, it could completely destroy Cooper's reputation. Cooper is dealing with a two-front war, a very public feud with one of her former biggest stars, and an internal company crisis with employees fleeing, and her husband allegedly creating a toxic workplace. The Bloomberg investigation revealed something crucial. This isn't just about Earle. Multiple people who worked with Cooper have similar stories. The publicist who left, the executives who quit, the crew members who filed complaints. There's a pattern here. And here's the question nobody's asking. If Kaplan is this bad to employees, and Cooper knows about it and does nothing, what does that say about her? The internet is divided. Team Cooper says Earle is being dramatic and should have just communicated directly. Team Earle says Cooper is manipulative, profit-driven, and willing to throw anyone under the bus for content and money. But here's what I think is going to happen. When Earle finally releases whatever she's been filming, it's going to include details that we don't know yet. Details about that Super Bowl weekend. Details about what really happened behind the scenes at Unwell. And those details are going to force people to choose a side. Cooper built an empire on getting people to share their most vulnerable moments on her podcast. She built a brand on being the person women trust with their secrets. But what happens when those same people turn around and say, she used me, she exploited my vulnerability for content, and when I tried to set boundaries, she cut me off? That's the existential threat Cooper is facing, not just one feud with Earle, but a fundamental question about whether her entire business model is built on exploitation. This is the messiest influencer feud of the decade. Two women who were supposed to lift each other up are now trying to destroy each other. And with Bloomberg exposing the chaos inside Unwell, with Earle promising to tell her full story, with employees fleeing and filing complaints, this is far from over. In fact, it might just be getting started. Let me know in the comments, are you Team Cooper or Team Earle? And what do you think really happened at that Super Bowl party? Drop your theories below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like. It really helps us keep bringing you the most interesting stories and breaking down what's really happening. This has been Allegedly Ours signing out. We'll catch you in the next one.